Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Kulturecast. I'm Chris Stachiw.
And I'm Sean Liang.
And to kick off our Monster Movie Month, where we're talking about kaiju movies, we are joined by senior editor of Culture Shock, Zach Wickwire.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And monster himself, human-monster hybrid, Zach Wickwire.
Yeah, that's me. I think all men like Sean and myself are monsters on the inside.
Yeah.
Whoa. Jesus. Calm down. Jesus Christ. Well then.
Gotta get this off to a strong start.
Yeah, apparently. So today we're going to be kicking off Kaiju Movie Month with Godzilla from 1954. And that is Godzilla Gojira, not Godzilla, comma, King of Monsters, exclamation point. This is the original Godzilla film, distributed and produced by Toho and released in 1954. But before we get to that, Zach, have you been watching anything this week?
Yeah, I just finished up season 3 of BoJack Horseman, and I'm moving on to season 2 of Rick and Morty, but ahead of the season 3 premiere.
I'm sorry, there's a season 3 premiere coming out soon?
Yeah, I think in the next few weeks here. I forget the exact date.
Oh my!
Of Rick and Morty?
I'm very excited. I did not know that.
I was not aware that this was the case either.
I just read that online the other day that the season 3 is soon.
Oh, I'm very excited. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I didn't know that. I knew it was like at the end of the year, but I didn't know it meant like now.
Well, I mean, you know how these things go with, Adult Swim. They're not very upfront with their release dates for things.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's Cartoon Network in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just Rick and Morty and BoJack Horseman, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty much been it for me.
What about you, Sean?
I haven't been watching a whole lot of new stuff. I've been, for some reason, I rewatched Stranger Things this weekend.
For the millionth time?
Yeah, for the third time. I don't know why. I looked at it. I was watching it, trying to figure out like all the plot holes and stuff. I'm just because I heard a lot about how it isn't perfect, but it relies a lot on nostalgia. I get that, so I just kind of wanted to look at it again.
I started watching it, and then other things came up.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'll get to it when I get to it. At this point, it'll probably take me a month to watch the whole thing because I'm always just watching everything else. So
yeah, I need to get around to watching that. I've heard nothing but nothing but good things about it.
I really like that show.
Netflix, man.
Netflix.
They're killing it, man.
Primo stuff coming out of Netflix.
Yeah, I mean they've got the upper hand here.
Yeah, they're constantly putting out some really good content, and I think they're kind of blowing everybody else who does original content like that out of the water, at least on the streaming services.
Definitely.
Let's see, what have I been watching?
Yeah, Hulu.
Hulu and your garbage shows. What have I been watching? I've been watching just kind of some WWE documentaries.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is probably better suited for when we talk wrestling, but man, the quality of those documentaries has dropped significantly in the last year and a half.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. They don't really go out of their way to like get people that were actually involved with the person that they were talking about. They usually just use a lot of archived interviews and stuff, and that's pretty much it. Oh no, my issue is just they did a documentary over the click, and that is to me just like the most ridiculous thing you could do. Oh, the two most recent ones that they put out were on Eric Bischoff and Razor Ramon. I know. Those weren't terrible, but the one over the click was just like, I was like shaking my head. Well, you've heard pretty much everything at this point because they've already done Michaels and Triple H. So, I mean, how much else can they really talk about? I mean, nothing. They jerk themselves off and they pretend like it was, the click is a good thing. Like they fully embraced it. And I think that, I don't know. Again, this is WWE backstage shit, but the documentaries, the quality is so bad now. So that's all I've been watching. So other than Godzilla, a film that I had never seen before. So I had seen the American version, but I had never seen the Japanese version. So this was kind of a new one for me. Film came out in 1954, directed by Ishiro Honda. It stars some pretty notable Japanese actors from the time: Akira Takarada, Momo Kochi, Akihiko Hirata, and Takashi Shimura. And the IMDb synopsis of the film is: American nuclear weapons testing results in the creation of a seemingly unstoppable dinosaur-like
once a city of 6 million people. What has happened here was caused by a force which, up until a few days ago, was entirely beyond the scope of man's imagination.
Now let's have it, Steve. What about this monster story of yours?
Well, it's big and terrible. Now he's making his way toward the city's main line of defense. 300,000 volts of electricity strung around the city as a barrier. I can hardly believe what has just happened. Now it seems Tokyo has no defense. I'm saying a prayer, George. A prayer for the whole world. Steve Martin signing off from Tokyo, Japan.
Zach, I'm assuming you'd seen this before.
I had never seen the Japanese cut before today.
So you had only seen the American one with Raymond Burr.
Yeah.
So, since I guess the three of us are all in the same boat, I'm assuming, Sean, you hadn't seen it either.
Never, ever. None of the Godzilla movies, actually. So I'm happy to start with this one.
What did you think, Zach, having seen the original Japanese cut for the first time? I really enjoyed it. I feel like because they cut out the American cut, I think cut out something like 20 minutes worth of film and like reshot a bunch of scenes to put Raymond Burr in there. It was just a big mess. I feel that the film flowed better in this version.
there was more. The film was just more interesting in general. Like there was a lot more that went into like the scientists not actually wanting to kill Godzilla, where if I remember correctly in the American cut, that's like all they wanted to do was like, oh, let's just kill him. Just kill him now, because America. But no, I enjoyed the film. I rather liked it. I'm looking forward to some of the other ones we have coming up this month.
What about you, Sean?
I actually kind of liked this one a lot, more than I thought I would. I've never had any interest in, I guess any kaiju type movies, but this was really fun. I liked it especially because of, like you said, I think before, how much of a post-war commentary it is. You know what I mean? It's very much, which is why it strikes me as interesting that that they would cut out that whole discussion of trying to keep the monster alive, because that's.
Yeah, but I mean, in the American version of the film, they also don't make it our fault, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there was. In
the Japanese version, it's very much America's fault.
That's true, but I mean, like, it's also like you can't escape the fact that they say that the cause of the is from the bomb, testing the bombs, right? Like that's what causes Godzilla to emerge, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's what they say in the movie, but there's a couple parts where they clearly
Sure.
very, very, very obviously reference the tragedies of Hiroshima and Nagasaki as part of the problem as well.
Well, I mean, that totally obvious. I mean, that makes sense, though. I just feel like it's definitely their story. It's hard to make that another story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they did their damnedest.
Yeah,
that's for sure. I mean, any film that makes the United States look bad because we blew up 2 Japanese civilian cities, I don't think that the United States, especially Hollywood at the time, was going to be like, yeah, this is okay.
Yeah, no, they respond to
thinking back to the time, because I mean, I believe it came out in the States in '56. I mean.
Yeah, it was 2 years later.
I'm actually shocked that they even bothered.
Well, I mean, if you think about some of the other American films like Them or, any of those other kind of American kaiju films.
Yeah, I suppose those were getting really big at the time.
I don't know. I think it makes Godzilla as an entity sort of an interesting reaction. I mean, it's definitely like.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror. We'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
A case study of like a post-war reaction, you know what I mean? Like it all has to do with perspective in this case, and
and it's how Japan is kind of dealing with.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at the American film, it takes a lot of the commentary out, and instead it inserts one of the biggest stars of the time, Raymond Burr, who was huge because of the Perry Mason TV show. This film in America was for pure entertainment's sake.
Yeah.
In Japan, not necessarily the case.
Yeah. See, I think there's such a meta performance in that. I think there's such a story in the way we tell the story as opposed to the way it was originally told. I think that
just ignoring the fact that it's about ignoring that it's a condemnation of us as a society.
Exactly. It's such a microcosm, because it's like, what do? We respond by more violence, more kill it. You know what I mean? Like that's just. I think it's interesting. I think it's really fun.
It's kind of interesting too. Like I don't know how you guys watched the film, but I actually have the Criterion Collection Blu-ray version of the movie, and they actually include a fully restored version of the '56 cut on the Blu-ray. So
of the American version.
Yeah. So you can watch either version of the film on the Blu-ray Criterion Collection version.
Huh.
Yeah, I was surprised they even bothered to go back and restore the '56 cut and put it on there.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though, because the American version so different. I feel like it's still an interesting movie.
Oh yeah, it is. I just think that the original cut is the better film.
I think that when you take that away, it's the reason why I never watched Godzilla in the first place. Because it just looks like another King Kong, but even King Kong has a lot more of a statement to make. You know what I mean? Like, before, like if you take that away, it's just this big. It reminds me of Them, or those old just like the shock of seeing large creatures rampaging through a city, and that's kind of where the effect stops. But like what I liked about watching this movie, and what intrigued me, what surprised me, is that the discussions they were having were very relevant and extremely interesting. I think that was the most surprising part about the movie to me.
Well, and King Kong, I mean, I don't know. King Kong never really, to me, had King Kong never really had like a message it was trying to convey or a topic it was really trying to kind of look at. King Kong was always just about, man conquering over beast. Well, mind you, King Kong came out in 1933, almost 20 years, 21 years before Godzilla came out. So Godzilla, I mean, it's influenced by King Kong, but I mean, you have to understand, obviously, I never felt like King Kong had some sort of story to tell. Does that make sense?
Sure, yeah.
It never had like a message. This movie has a message.
Right. I see what you're saying. Well, I see, and I always, I guess, grew up seeing a message in that. I mean, and I saw it in the fact that he was holding it was like this giant ape, which is like a humanoid animal holding a woman, and a tiny woman in its hands on top of a building. There's just such a masculinity thing there. There's a race thing that we've seen, that we've kind of grown up with, like to learn. There's just so much like that's packed into it that I've always seen it that way, I guess. Whereas Godzilla and like the ants in them, or like the giant spiders, and like they're just, to me, they were just giant monsters tearing down a city. But in this movie, when they're talking about the fact that Godzilla came from the radiation from testing the bombs, like that is such a statement. You know what I mean? And then Godzilla becomes this icon of war, of violence. Like, you know what I mean? It comes from that. And it's much more than just a monster. You know what I mean? The monster has a much more familiar name for us, and it's not just a giant creature.
Right.
It's what happens when we turn to war. You know what I mean? That's what the statement is.
Well, and I find it pretty funny too that America has kind of latched on to, Godzilla as something that, they want to make their own.
Yeah, which is
it was initially a condemnation of our warmongering and our aggressive ways as a country.
I think that's just Hollywood in general, where
yeah.
I mean, anytime they see something that they can they look at something, they see dollar signs, and they're gonna bastardize it regardless of what the original message was or anything like that.
Absolutely. I just think it's funny because that's the whole point of what they're saying. Like the whole discussion of let's not, the professor saying maybe we shouldn't kill the monster right away. Let's learn why it survives when we blow it up. You know what I mean? Like let's learn about this creature and what it can do instead of trying to destroy it. And it's exactly what we do in America, even when we're exploiting this idea.
I think that's kind of the best thing about this movie, though, is that it's so unabashedly not an American film, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of like that about it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the American films that were coming out in around this time period, they didn't really take responsibility for things like this. That's not what it was about, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying. Like, a lot of it was, giant monster appears. We don't care.
America blows
it up. We don't care where it came from or anything like that. We just want it dead.
Right.
And like you said, Sean, I mean, none of this movie is about killing the monster.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what the struggle is about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's like the conflict of the film is like you have the professor and the people around him that don't want to kill Godzilla, and then the military does want to kill Godzilla because they're like, oh, it's killing civilians and destroying our country. It needs to die. And the professor is like, hey, no, we need to study him and find out what's going on. I mean, I think that's why too. I mean, Dr. Serizawa was so hesitant to use his new
oxygen.
his
oxygen destroyer.
Anyway, he was so hesitant to use the oxygen destroyer as a weapon, which is, I mean, he stated towards the end of the film, I mean, it was an analog to the atomic bomb. Like, if we use this as a weapon now, that's all it's going to be used for.
Yep. Well, that's a great parallel in poetess. Like, that's our hero. Like, he sacrifices his life and his everything just so that he could take that secret with him. I mean, because that's such a statement that goes along with everything in the movie. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it really is, because I mean, he knew, he's like, if he knew that if he survived, like, someone else would figure out a way to get him to make this, you know, the oxygen destroyer, and it would just end up causing more damage than it was worth having it around.
Yeah.
And use it against one another.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, because, I mean, it killed Godzilla. Could you imagine if it had been used on people? I mean...
Exactly.
What did you guys think of the effects in the film? Because I know that that's kind of like a big point of contention, you know, for people being like, well, it's just a guy in a suit. Ooh, it's just a guy in a suit jumping around. What did you guys think of the effects?
Sean, why don't you go ahead and go first? Because I think I'm going to have a little bit different take on this than either of you guys.
Okay. I was going to say, I actually didn't mind. I thought it was really cool. I mean, if you think about it, I don't know, like, my whole expectation of what, especially from a movie from this era, I don't really know, but I thought it was impressive. I mean, yeah, it does. I mean, the Godzilla does look like a man in a suit at times, but like the effect of it is pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I was seeing much more than just a lizard this time, you know, which was fun. It was there. I'm seeing much more of the result, the impact. But even like this, the simple special effects where it's clearly like these model airplanes, and I like it. I think it's fun and it works for me. It still works. I think it's kind of got that charm to it, you know what I mean? But I think that they were pretty effective. I don't know. I'm excited to hear what you think, Zach.
I liked.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it more than the effects in the new Godzilla film from 2014.
Exactly. I'd much rather see it like, because it's like shadowy and mysterious. I'd buy it, you know?
No, and okay, so here's the thing with the effects. Like, you have to realize when this movie came out in Japan in '54, like this was state of the art. Like, this came out the same year as Kurosawa's Seven Samurai.
Oh wow, yeah.
That I mean, that is a big deal. Like, so the special effects guy in this that did the guy that did the special effects for this film, Eiji Tsuburaya, actually is like hugely known in Japan for being a special effects wizard. I mean, he did this movie. He went on to create Ultraman. He created Kamen Rider. He helped create Super Sentai, which is a series that Power Rangers is based off of. Like, a lot of these shows and movies that still exist today still use some of the techniques pioneered in this film. Like, this film into Japanese cinema is like one of the cornerstones because of how much it did for the tokusatsu genre, which is like their suit monster stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh no, this movie was huge over there. Like, it is insane. Like, knowing that shows like Power Rangers and all these other series, like, if it wasn't for Godzilla, they probably wouldn't exist, because this movie really set the stage for all of that.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, these effects, I feel like the black and white adds to the quality of the effects. I mean, I think if it were in color, it would maybe look a little wonky, but with the film being in black and white, I mean, it really still holds up and it really works still.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of interesting you say that. Like, I started watching the movie.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
Out on our big TV in the living room, and Mark walked in, and he was standing there watching it, and he's like, how old is this movie? And I was like, oh, it came out in '54. And he's like, this doesn't look like it's 60 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
So like it's
because it really does.
No, it doesn't. It's really impressive. I mean, like I said, just from a technical standpoint, like so much of cinema and television and stuff in Japan owes so much to this film. I mean, Toho really killed it with this movie. I mean, God, you had 25 Godzilla films, including this one, plus the 2 American ones, and there's a new one coming out in Japan this year. I mean, this was, and
there's another American one coming out.
Yeah, exactly, a sequel to the 2014 one. So yeah, this film was like incredibly important to Japan, and I think it's a huge reason why, you know, Godzilla is seen as such a huge icon over there.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though Godzilla destroys like most of Tokyo. Which always cracks me up.
Yeah, well,
I mean, Godzilla is destroying Tokyo Tower, but he's a huge icon. I mean, I think that just rings to the popularity of him as a character.
There's a weird period where, you know, it gets kind of weird. There's a weird period in the films where it gets kind of like kid friendly and stuff. It's
excuse me, sir. Spoilers. I love Manila, so how dare you? If those of you who don't know what Manila is Godzilla's baby son. Yeah. And it is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It has like a face of a human. It is a baby Godzilla with a human face. It is deeply upsetting.
Yeah, it's the movies get kind of strange in like when you get into the 70s movies, but they kind of bounce back when you get past that era. So.
Because Godzilla becomes a defender of the people.
Yeah, he kind of takes the same. It kind of takes the same path as Gamera, except for wildly more popular.
I remember this now. I remember it's like claymation almost.
Claymation.
It looks like claymation. Like
the baby Godzilla.
Yeah.
Well, baby Godzilla looks like garbage.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I love baby Godzilla, but he looks terrible.
It's like a seal.
Yeah, it's really upsetting.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of a shame. It's kind of a shame my brother couldn't be here today because he actually met the guy that wore the suit in this film a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my God, amazing!
And they got in the original suit, the Godzilla suit, right?
Yeah, he's the guy that was in Godzilla in this film. So I imagine that was pretty big to meet somebody like that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of my thing with this movie is this movie has really stood the test of time as a film.
Oh, right? It really has. I mean,
I can't think of a lot of films from the 50s that are sci-fi films that have stood the test of time and popularity that Godzilla has.
You know, they kind of really Japan was kind of really killing it that year. I mean, when you look at just the fact that just this movie and, as I mentioned earlier, Seven Samurai both came out in 1954. I mean, that was a huge year for cinema over there.
And Godzilla as a character has stood the test of time. Obviously, I mean, there's, like you said, there was a Godzilla film that came out 2 years ago. There are new Godzilla films still coming out in Japan, even when there weren't any coming out in the States. He as a character has stood the test of time. Even after a terrible 1999 Godzilla film.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, if you go look at the things on the Japanese side. I mean, they've done where, they've gone several years without a film, and then they kind of do like a soft reboot, where they introduce like a new suit and, new, usually like Godzilla gets like a change in attitude and like all this other stuff, where it's just they kind of try to shift the status quo after not having a film for like 5 or 10 years.
Well, and let's be honest here, one of the best things that the Japanese films did was, I want to say, is it Godzilla Generations, where the Japanese Godzilla kills off the American Godzilla?
Oh, that was in Final Wars. That was the last Japanese film before the one that's coming out this year, which was like 10 or so years ago that came out. Yes, he whooped the ass of the 98 Godzilla.
He killed him,
it wasn't
right?
It wasn't even a fight. Like he pretty much threw him into the Sydney Opera House in Australia and and then blew his fire at him and just blew the shit out of him.
Because that Godzilla is as much as I enjoy that movie for just like the terrible 90s of it, that movie's terrible.
Oh, it's bad. And like that Godzilla that the Godzilla is so like panned, like especially in Japan, like he is hated. Like they pretty much pretend that one doesn't exist.
Well, and I can't really blame.
That's
like
funny.
Like I've heard the suit actor from this film, the guy that my brother met a couple weeks ago, he actually he was at the Japanese premiere of Godzilla 98, and he actually walked out of the film. Like that is how detested that movie is over there.
Woof.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, it's not a good movie.
No, it really
isn't. It is a remake of this movie without any of the commentary of like. I mean, they in that movie, America is the reason Godzilla exists, but it's just like, who cares?
Yeah, and I think really the only thing it has in common with this movie is like maybe the first 10 minutes. Like they really, I mean, and like the first like 10 or 15 minutes of the 98 film is directly pretty much lifted from this movie, and then after that it kind of goes its own way.
It's true. I you know, and again, I feel like though a lot of people won't watch this movie because this movie is extremely slow.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, people have a pretty short attention span, and trying to watch a Japanese language only film.
Well, I mean, when you consider this film's only 90 minutes, I mean, it's really not. I mean, it's not going to eat up that much of your day.
That's the thing. Like, and once it gets going, like, especially like those scenes when he goes crazy, like through the town, like that's pretty cool. I mean, they are really cool. Like the special effects are enough to like be pretty interesting. I don't know. Like, yeah,
like when you compare it to like the American films coming out nowadays that are like 3-4 hours long, like this.
Oh, like the Godzilla film that was 3-4 hours long.
Yeah, this movie is not that bad. And I mean, I didn't hate the 2014 Godzilla movie either. I mean, I thought it was a little slow in parts, but I think, I mean, this movie flows just. I mean, it flows. It's a little slow in the middle. I can admit that, but I mean, you can.
This movie is way better than the American.
Oh yeah, it's better than either of the American ones.
Because I think it has so much more to say, and it says a lot more. You know what I mean? Like, and I like that. It's much more interesting. I think the discussions that they have were interesting to me too.
It's not like it's like, oh look, Godzilla. Oh, by the way, here's Bryan Cranston.
Exactly. That's all I felt about that. I didn't even see that movie, and that's what I felt.
That is pretty much the 2014 Godzilla movie in a nutshell.
And this film really does have a lot of stakes too. This film has some stakes because they want to stop Godzilla. They don't want to kill Godzilla, but if they don't stop Godzilla, he's going to continue to destroy Japan. So there are some stakes to it, unlike the American film where it's just like, Godzilla's blowing shit up.
Yep. Let's kill him.
He's just blowing shit up. Yeah.
It is kind of interesting too to go back and see them like the military trying to fight off Godzilla with like machine guns and stuff. It's like, it's like, come on, that isn't gonna work.
Because literally those dudes just like sitting on the front line shooting at Godzilla with assault rifles, and I was like, guys, that's not how this works.
Yeah, or at the end when he was walking into the ocean and the jets were shooting at him, and I was like, I don't think a single missile. Yeah. I don't think a single missile hit him. Do we have the B squad working today or something?
Well, and again, this movie, I mean, the way that they kill Godzilla is pretty. I don't think that would like fly today.
No,
right?
I don't think so. Like
where Godzilla just kind of dies off screen.
Yeah, it was kind of that would.
Yeah,
today.
Because you don't, I mean, even you go back to the 2014 film, and I mean, he didn't even get killed at the end. He just kind of left. I mean.
Well, because in the 2015 film, he turns out to be a good guy at the end.
Yeah.
Don't forget. He's a total good guy at the end because he helped destroy the Mutos or whatever the fuck those things are.
Oh my God.
In this movie, he's a bad guy. He is the antagonist of the film.
Yeah. And then, he just.
He's more like the shark in Jaws in this film.
Yeah, I mean, he got woken up from a deep slumber, and he's just doing what Godzilla does.
What Godzilla would do.
Yeah, he's doing what any animal would do. They even mentioned that in the film. Like, his food source has been exhausted, so now he's coming onto land to look for food.
I will say this much, though. Going to the design of Godzilla, he is much more T-Rex-like in this film than I remember him being in anything else I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, if I remember right, I think the film after this, Godzilla Raids Again, I think they already use a new suit. I don't think they reused the suit from this movie, but I can't remember right.
But I mean, he is very T-Rex-like.
Oh, right? Yeah, very much so. Like, I mean, you see him from far away, and he does look like more like a dinosaur. Like, I feel like in the movies after this, they kind of shifted him more to his current, like, more iconic design.
But I mean, they also mention the fact that he is part dinosaur.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they
say dinosaur.
they say like there are other dinosaurs out there. You know, he's probably part dinosaur.
Yeah, I always thought he was part dinosaur, but this is from someone on the outside.
But and also the dinosaurs inspired the design as well. So
yeah, I guess it depends on which. I guess it depends on which version of Godzilla you're watching, because I believe the '98 Godzilla, he was just a mutated iguana.
Oh my god! And it also had Matthew Broderick in it.
Yep, good old Matthew Broderick.
So I mean, you know, not one for taste. Let's put it that way.
Don't forget about Hank Azaria. We was taking a break from The Simpsons.
And Jean Reno.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that movie is man. If you've never seen that movie, it's something else. It is a bad movie It is a bad movie in the best way. So, I like this movie. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I enjoyed a lot of the performances. Akihiko Hirata as Serizawa, the troubled scientist.
Yeah.
He's absolutely the best part of the film for me. Dr. Yamane is pretty close, but then again, I think his character is pretty great. So
yeah, I love the professor, but you really relate to that hero. Serizawa, especially at the end there, that struggle when he knows what that's pretty cool. And then what he chooses to do at the end, like that's some cool stuff. And Miko, I love Miko.
You know, I part of me was thinking during the film, like, man, I kind of wish that Serizawa had a bigger role, but then at the same time, I think he would lose some of his impact if he'd been in the film more.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like he was in it just the right amount so that you weren't like, dang, he makes this kind of real terrible choice at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it almost feels like he would have ended up like Ogata, where he just kind of would have been blah, like nobody would have cared about him if he'd been in the film more.
Yeah. I was just pleasantly surprised overall. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot more. I see now why it's still an icon.
Yeah, and I mean, I like I said, I'd never seen the Japanese cut of the film, and I honestly hadn't even watched the American cut. It's been years since I watched that, and I liked this film a lot more than I was expecting to. Like, I kind of went into it like with lower expectations. Like, it's an older film. It's probably going to be a little slow and kind of boring, and it ended up being just way more enjoyable than what I was initially expecting.
Well, and that was my takeaway too, is having only seen the American version, I had no idea what to expect. So, and frankly, I mean, I got a film that was much more enjoyable than I was expecting. So, well, Zach, skip it or watch it, best performance.
I'm going to have to go with watch it. I mean, it was a much better film than I thought. Like I mentioned, it's only an hour and a half. It is not. I mean, it's not over. It's not going to overstay its welcome. If you're into older films, you love black and white films, like films from like that era, 50s and 60s. Like, I mean, it's really a fantastic movie. And as far as performance, I gotta agree with Chris. I gotta go with Akihiko Hirata as Daisuke Serizawa. I mean, he wasn't in the movie a lot, but man, he just knocked it out of the park when he was.
What about you, Sean?
I think this is definitely a watch. I think, especially like for any film buff, you have to go back and see why this has started such a craze. I mean, it's such a revolution, and I see why now. Like the history of it is pretty fascinating, and to see it as a post-war discussion is absolutely one of my favorite things about it. And I never thought I would say that about any movie, but I think that it has given Godzilla a much more of a meaning to me, I think, now after watching this one, especially watching this version and hearing what you guys have said about the American versions. I'm very glad that I've started with this movie. Definitely, and like I said, the effects still hold up. It's an entertaining movie. If you don't mind reading subtitles, which aren't, still not too bad. It's a good movie. Best performance? I don't know. I really liked Takashi Shimura. That was the professor, right? I can't say his name. Yamane. I really liked him. He was I like that character a lot. He's such a great character face too. I don't know, like he's got that like ooh face.
Very much old Japanese grandfather.
Yeah, but like it's memorable.
Yeah, for me, it's a watch. I gotta echo what you guys are saying. The movie really is way, way better than I expected it to be. Just having seen kind of the lackluster American cut of the film. I mean, the cuts of the film are so different. One should really watch this one and kind of forget that the American one exists, because frankly, this movie really it's a million times better than the American one. This one also has, a lot of context, and it's trying to say something as opposed to just, kill the monster. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. And best performance, Akihiko Hirata as Daisuke Serizawa. Just a lot is going on in his performance, but he's not in the movie enough to really make you feel like he's overstaying his welcome. And his character arc is pretty great too. I mean, he makes a pretty big decision at the end of the film, and I really enjoyed his character, and I thought that his performance was really good. What do you guys think it has on Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm gonna say it's probably around 80.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I was like at 88.
93%.
Ooh.
Wow.
More than straight monster movie fare, Gojira offers potent, sobering post-war commentary. Yeah. I mean, this movie is about the effects of nuclear war.
Yeah.
That is it. That is what this movie is about.
And that makes it timeless, though. I mean, that's something that we're always talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the new movie, it's more about, environmentalism.
Right.
And global warming.
that's a cop out to me.
Actually, is it about global warming or is it nuclear war? I think it's about like nuclear powered energy. So this movie is the Godzilla film.
And I mean, you gotta realize when this came out. I mean, 1954. This was less than 10 years after the bombs. I mean, everybody involved in this film lived through that.
It's
like
fresh,
they knew they lived it firsthand. Like we can't even really begin to understand what what this movie would mean to somebody that lived through those tragedies. I mean,
right.
It is such it's so out there, like beyond the comprehension of a normal person that I don't know. It's just hard to put into words almost.
And that I think is the biggest part of this film that a lot of modern audiences won't understand is seeing it in context of when it came out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of hard to put ourselves in that mindset of when it came out versus, just watching it now, 50 years later. So, well, before I talk about next week's Kulturecast, Zach, anything you want to plug?
You can find me over at the Kulturecade. Do lots of video game reviews and the like for that section of the website. I'm also co-host for the video game podcast here on Culture Shocked, as Pick Up and Play, and I also make regular appearances on our wrestling podcast, Running Ropes.
What about you, Sean?
Nice. You can follow me on Twitter, as always. I'm Shonifer, and on Facebook, I'm Sean Liang, and I'll post my updates there as they come. Not a lot right now, but as always, you can follow me.
You can follow me on Twitter at CultureStash. And if you want to check out more episodes of the Kulturecast, head on over to cultureshock.com/Kulturecast, or we are also on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and all podcast apps on Android and iOS. And for the two people using the Windows phone, we're on there as well. Big thanks as always to Wovoka for the intro outro music for the Kulturecast. That song is Lament off their self-titled first album. You can check them out over at wovoka.bandcamp.com. And if you want to help us out and kick a couple dollars our way so that Zach and Sean don't have to be fed to Godzilla by me, head on over to patreon.com/culture_shocked. Next Tuesday, we're going to be continuing our Kaiju Movie Month by talking about a film that I am so excited to talk about. All Monsters Attack. It was released in Japan as Gojira Minera Gabara Oru Kaiju Daishingeki, otherwise known as Godzilla, Manila, and Gabara. Yes. All Monsters Attack. Yes, we will be watching a movie with Manila, Baby Godzilla. I cannot wait. It is one of the films that I remember watching on VHS as a kid, and it is not a good movie. From what I remember, it is not good.
Oh goodness, I know what movie this is all of a sudden, and it is.
This is the one with the latchkey kid.
It is bad. It is bad.
It is like a child is taught how to stick up for himself through that by the help of Baby Godzilla.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the trailer. Oh my god, this is so good.
It is It is some next level.
I believe it. I believe on the old American VHS was actually called like Godzilla's Revenge or some nonsense.
I thought it was called Son of Godzilla.
No, Son of Godzilla is a different movie.
Oh, great.
Adventure family action.
Yeah, it is like a children's film with Godzilla in it. This is what Zach was talking about. It's like, and it's like 69 minutes too.
Yeah.
So it is barely a feature-length film.
That's perfect. That's like exactly this. I might love this movie.
Oh, it's gonna be great. So make sure to check that one out.